Yo, welcome back. It's your boy J-Rod here. I just spit a little bit. I don't know if you saw that. Dude, this lighting makes me look holy. I look like Casper the Ghost, man. I came early for Halloween. Where was I going with this? All right, so for today we are doing the NBA standings, predictions, however you want to put it. We're gonna be doing the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. Now I know that the season already started. I think we're like 4 or 5 games into it. But anything can happen. There's 82 games in a season. Just because one team's at the top, they could fall all the way to the bottom. So keep that in mind. So we're going to start out here with the Eastern Conference. We're going to go from bottom up to top. And at the very bottom, I'm going with a little bit of a surprising team. A lot of you guys are probably thinking the Detroit Pistons. I'm going with the Orlando Magic. I think once Cade Cunningham gets playing, the Pistons are going to be a lot better. I think Sadiq Bey, Isaiah Stu, I think a lot of those guys have a big season. Well, when I say big season, I mean for their expectations, you feel me? The Magic, I think they're just trying to figure things out. I mean, they got a lot of injuries with Markelle Fultz, who's probably going to be out for all of this year. And then you got Jonathan Isaac, who's, I'm not even sure if he's playing yet, but I know he's coming off that pretty bad injury. And then you got to figure out the guard rotation with Jalen Suggs, who I like Jalen Suggs. I just think he's going to take some time to adapt. Cole Anthony's going to have his games where he's hot. He's going to have his games where he's a little bit off. I just think this Orlando Magic team, overall, with depth, might be a better roster than the Detroit Pistons. But when I think it comes to, the star talent, best players on each team, I think the Pistons are in the better category. So I'm going to put the Orlando Magic at the bottom, which leads to my next pick. I'm going with the Detroit Pistons if I could find them. I think the Pistons are in the right direction. They got some good young players. Sadiq Bey, Isaiah Stu, I really like him. Cade Cunningham, obviously the number one pick in this year's draft. I think he's going to win Rookie of the Year, in my opinion. Which now I kind of just spoiled my NBA awards video, which will be coming out soon, but yeah, I'm going to put the Pistons there. And then we got, who we got next? I got a sheet here that's telling me. And then we got the Cavs. Cavs slide in at 13. Cavs are, I'm just so confused with what the Cavs are doing right now in the front court. They got so many, they got Lauri Markkanen, who they're playing at small forward, which it's kind of working now, but it's not going to. Teams are going to absolutely obliterate the Cavs on offense. They're just going to drop buckets on them easy with Lauri. If they are playing Lauri Markkanen at the 3, it's just over. Especially when it goes to, teams hitting three-point shots now and playing more, small ball lineups. People are just going to eat that up. So, yeah. I still like Sexland. I like that backcourt. I think they'll be pretty promising this year, but there's a lot of... The East is surprisingly pretty good this year. And then what we got next? We got the Pacers. I know that's kind of low for the Pacers, but there's a lot of good teams in the East this year. My thing with the Pacers is, A, can they remain healthy? B, new coach. I know Rick Carlisle. I almost forgot his name. He's a Dallas Mavericks legend as a head coach, but it is his first year with the Pacers, trying to figure out these new players. The Miles Turner-Sabonis backcourt, I feel like, is just getting worse and worse every year. And it's not to say that Sabonis and Miles Turner as individual players are getting worse. It's just them playing together. It's not working out. It's not going to work out. They got to figure out something there. They got injuries, like I said before, and they just have no bench depth. I mean, after losing guys like, what's that guy who went to the Spurs? That white guy, plays power forward. Whatever. They're losing bench depth. I mean, Chris Duarte is a big-time rookie. He's coming in, and he's going to be a great role player for them, which is how good the East is. I don't see the Pacers making much of a push to the playoffs. And then we got the Raptors barely making it out of the play-in tournament. Where are the Raptors? There they are. I really wanted to put the Toronto Raptors in the play-in tournament, but, still a young team trying to figure some things out. I think Scotty Barnes is going to have a really good year. Siakam's going to be back after he comes off that injury. OG Anunoby. I think in the future, the Toronto Raptors have a lot of potential to be like a championship team with the young core that they have if they just keep building around. I just don't know who else. I mean, maybe like the Wizards could fall out and then the Raptors would move up. Um, but at the same time, like the Wizards always just find a way to like sneak their way into the play-in tournament or their playoffs. The thing I'm worried about with the Wizards though is if they lose Bradley Beal like at all, like they're gonna be screwed because it's not like Westbrook. You know what? I'm changing it. I'm changing my hat on the sheets. The Raptors are gonna make the play-in tournament, and the Wizards are gonna knock off. Wizards fans are gonna hate me, man. Wizards fans are already gonna come at my neck. Wizards already to start the season actually have been pretty good, like especially on defense. Like they got good depth. They got a lot of pretty good guys, but other than Bradley Beal, there's no star power on that team. If Bradley Beal goes out for like 10 or 20 games, they're gonna be put in a very bad position. I do like Spencer Dinwiddie, but is he really a guy that could help lead you to a play-in tournament / playoffs? I don't know, especially coming off that injury. I do like the Raptors though. I'm gonna give more trust to like OG Anunoby and those young guys on the team. I forgot about Gary Trent too, so they got some stuff there. I am worried about their depth though, because the Wizards I would say definitely have a better bench. All right, let's move on. And then sneaking in at the 9 seed, you guys are probably going to be surprised by this one, but I'm going with the Hornets. I know the Hornets are looking really good right now. Where are they still undefeated? I don't know. I think they're like 4-0, 5-0, something like that. They're looking really good. Miles Bridges is having an absolute breakout year. LaMelo Ball is doing his thing in his second year. They still need some help at the center position. Although it's not too big of a deal right now, I think later on into the season, teams will find ways to get to the rim more and attack that. Yeah, I just think, when it comes to star power, there's just teams that are better than the Hornets. Hornets, I think they got a lot of really good young players. They're still a young team trying to figure some things out. And these other top 8 teams just have more experience, older players, and just more superstar type players, even though LaMelo is on his way to being there. And then we got the Sixers. The Sixers are weird because the Sixers could easily like come in and be a top 4 seed, but then they could also be down here. With the whole Ben Simmons situation, I don't know what's happening, if he's going to play the season, if he's not. It's tough because if I'm the Sixers, I don't even play Ben Simmons. But at the same time, you want to get his trade value up. So it's like you probably are going to have to play him, but then the chemistry is going to be weird. I'm just worried if Ben Simmons doesn't play and it's just Joel Embiid. And if Joel Embiid goes out, then the Sixers team's in a bad position. Because Joel Embiid isn't known to being a player who can play, 70-plus games a season at max capacity. He's going to be out for games. And if there's no Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid, your best player is probably who? Tobias Harris. But other than Tobias Harris, like Seth Curry. I'm going to go with the Sixers 8 seed. And then we got the Celtics. I had to put us above the Sixers. That's just how it's got to be. But, I'm worried. I'm worried about the Celtics this year. I think, being a Celtics fan too, from a non-biased perspective, as much as I love Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, if both those guys don't drop 30 points a night, we're losing the game. In order for us to win games, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have to drop 30 points a night, together. And it's just, you could only do that so much. Dennis Schroeder, Josh Richardson on paper look like they're really good additions. But I just don't know how big of an impact that's going to have on our it's just not the right players we need. Maybe Josh Richardson, you could argue that, but even Josh Richardson just seems to be, ever since he left the Miami Heat, he just hasn't been the same player. So I don't really give him too much value anymore. So this is my play-in tournament look right here. We got the Celtics, Sixers, Hornets, and the Raptors there. And then heading into the playoffs, 1 through 6. We got. Is that right? Okay. Yep, the Bulls. We got the Bulls at the 6 seed. Bulls look really good right now. I think they're undefeated, 4-0, 5-0, something like that. But to be fair, they did play the Detroit Pistons twice, so it's like, how valuable does that really make their undefeated streak right now? Chicago Bulls, I think they look really good right now. I still think they have things to figure out. I think the way they're constructed and built is really good for the regular season, so that's why I feel like 6 might be low. But at the same time, it's still a new team. Their roster is completely changed from last year. Like, it's crazy. I think they only have like 3 players on last year's roster that are on this year's roster. So it's absolutely crazy, all the changes they made. Definitely for the better. But I think as the season goes on, they're still going to look to work and improve in certain areas. A lot of people were worried about their defense. Me personally, I don't think I think their defense is actually going to be good. Like, I think they're going to surprise people. I mean, maybe like interior defense, like having Nikola Vucevic, he's not the best like interior defender at all. But like having guys like Lonzo Ball, DeMar DeRozan, Alex Caruso, like those are all guys that are solid perimeter defenders and team defenders. So I'm not really too worried about their defense. But yeah, I got Bulls at 6. And then at 5, we are going to go with the Knicks. They're just built for the regular season. Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier, big-time pickups. They're just going to be a lot better on offense, too. Like, when those guys like Julius Randle or RJ Barrett are having cold nights, you got guys like that could come in and, make the difference in Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier. So I'm going to put them at the 5 seed. I don't see them hitting top 4 just because of how good the top 4 is, and we'll go into that 4. We got the Atlanta Hawks. They just, when it comes to overall, just constructed rosters and bench depth, the Hawks probably are the best team in the league when it comes to that. I mean, they got guys like Cam Reddish, DeAndre Hunter, Danilo Gallinari, like so many good guys that could just come off the bench and drop you like 20 plus a night and play really good defense. Well, not as much Gallinari with the defense, but you know what I'm saying. They just got a mix of so many good guys. You got your veteran type players, and then you got your younger type players. So I like the Hawks there at 4. They're just really built for the regular season. And then 3rd, we got the Miami Heat. If I can find them, there they are. The Miami Heat. I like what they got going there. I think Tyler Hero is going to be an absolute menace off the bench. Kyle Lowry, big-time pickup. Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, they're going to get stuff going this year. They're going to be a lot better since they have those guys that can, provide scoring for them. Victor Oladipo, as soon as he comes back, I think Miami's going to be a lot better. I think defensively they're going to be great this year. Their defense is already great, but with guys like PJ Tucker and Kyle Lowry, it's just going to be next level. So I got Miami Heat at 3. 2, we got the Brooklyn Nets. I don't have them at 1 because I got the Bucks at 1. The Nets are still disgusting without Kyrie. I mean, don't get me wrong. James Harden, Kevin Durant on the same team is disgusting. A lot of people are worried about James Harden with the foul baiting being gone and all that stuff. I love how the refs added that, or how the NBA changed the rules, as I should say. But James Harden's going to get it going. People are saying like he's fallen off and stuff. Like, just stop, dude. Like, James Harden is disgusting. You'll see him start dropping 20, 30 plus points once again. Yeah, they could use Kyrie though. Like, in order for them to be a number 1 seed, I really do think they could use Kyrie. The Bucks, I think, are even better this year with having, Grayson Allen on that team, Dante DiVincenzo as soon as he comes back. Just those extra pieces coming off the bench is just going to make the Bucks even better than they were last year. You got Giannis, who's looking like he's developing that jump shot as well. Like, yeah, the Bucks are really scary. I think a lot of people need to consider the Bucks as being a 2-time, back-to-back championship team. I think a lot of people just are writing them off and just saying it was luck. But, Nets with no Kyrie, the Lakers, still trying to work things together. I think the Milwaukee Bucks could be a serious threat here. So let me know what you think about these. I'll zoom out a little bit. Maybe that's a little bit too much. You get the sense. All right, if you want to pause, let me know what you guys think. I really like this. I think it's good. It's always hard to predict NBA standings because, there's 15 spots in each conference, so anything can get moving. I remember last year when I did this, I had the Knicks, bottom 3, and they were just absolutely disgusting. So maybe a team like the Cavs, they won't, but maybe, they could break out. But yeah, that's the end of this video. I'll see you guys for the next one. Sub to the channel if you're not subscribed. Leave a like on this video and click that bell for the notifications. And I don't know if that made sense, but you get what I'm saying. And peace.